What's up, everybody? Dead Girl here. It's Wednesday, and you know what that means. We have a very special guest with us this evening. We have the owner of Sir Henry's Haunted Trail, Zach Glaros, is with us this evening.
What's up, everybody?
Thank you so much for joining us.
Absolutely. Love to be here.
Now, for those who are not familiar with you, or Sir Henry's Haunted Trail, I wanted to talk a little bit about, yourself tonight and the trail, just so that people can kind of get a feel for things before the season kicks off.
Yeah.
So I do have to ask, how did you get into the haunt industry?
Yeah, a lot of people ask that question. I started from a very young age at my parents' house. My parents love to decorate for every holiday.
Nice.
And my birthday being so close to Halloween, I took a fascination with Halloween and putting up decorations in the yard for that. So all through high school, I was kind of growing the display bigger and bigger. And even through college, it became a pretty big thing that me and my cousin would do and work on. Halloween night, we would have almost 1,000 trick-or-treaters and whatnot come through.
Wow.
But that's how it got started, just an addiction that really kind of burst into a wildfire.
That's awesome. See, and I think that that's the way a lot of people end up starting, is they when they're little and that love grows, and then they start doing, the hardcore decorating and the little home haunts and stuff, which I think is awesome, and it's so much fun, and I love hearing the growing story. Now you guys started at the house, so how did you end up where you're at now? Like, how did you guys evolve that into a bigger haunt?
Right. So after I graduated college, me and my dad had a conversation that we had talked about kind of just in passing, doing this on a larger scale. And so we decided after I graduated college that we would come out to our family's property right here in Plant City off of I-4 and try to set something up. And we did, and that was 2014. And here we are 7 seasons later in 2020 and getting ready to open for our 7th season. And it's crazy to look back on and see where we started. Mm-hmm. Very, very humble beginnings, and to what we have grown into today. It's the blessing to see what we've been able to do with the support of so many people.
Yeah. Now, did you guys start out with, I know currently you have 3 trails. Did you guys start out with 3 trails, or did you start it with 1 and then kind of grow it from there?
Yeah, so we started with just 1 trail, which if anybody's been to the event before, it's pretty much the trail that's to our far left as you enter, and that's kind of the longest trail, and that was really the original trail. And then in 2016, we added a 2nd trail, and then we have 3 trails now.
Nice. And do you guys switch it up every year? Are there different themes and different decor and stuff?
So one of my things is I love to be fresh. I love to be new. I pretty much have to do a new project every year. So we do try to switch the themes up every year and redo as much as we can that makes sense to the event and for the guests too, because I know everybody likes to see new, fresh things. Yeah.
And it's definitely, it's that pull factor where it keeps getting people to come back because they know that, if they went last year, when they come this year, it's going to change. It's not going to be that same theme. It might be a different story depending on, the trail that you're running that year.
Exactly.
And that's awesome. And you guys have been doing that since 2014, you said?
Yep. 2014 was our very first season.
That's awesome. And then you guys do the haunt there. Do you guys do other events too on that property?
Yes. So a year after we started the haunt, we started doing a family-friendly Christmas event, which that's been awesome to do. I love Christmas as well. It's a holiday. It's a time to entertain and decorate. Right. And then this year we actually did our first Valentine's Day haunted event. So that was a lot of fun to do. Hopefully be doing some more of that here in the near future.
I hope so too. I missed it last year. I was somewhere. I don't know where I was, but I did miss it. And I was pretty sad about not making it out there. So I'm hoping to catch it next year.
Yeah, that was definitely a fun event to do. It was different. It was kind of like, there was no limitations or restrictions. So we could just do whatever creative thing we wanted to that fit with the holiday. And it turned out to be an awesome event.
Very cool. Now I know there's a lot of haunts this year in particular who are not opening because of everything that's going on in the world with COVID and safety and distancing and all those fun things. What made you guys make that decision to go ahead and open up?
Yeah, so there was a lot of factors involved with that, whether we would be able to open or not. Ultimately, I think the first thing we started looking at was the fact that we were an outdoor event.
Right.
And that kind of sets us apart from a lot of the other events or attractions, around the country, not just in the area too.
Yeah.
We're an open air environment. We're pretty much just a walking trail with scenes built into it. There's no enclosed buildings or anything else. So it's a unique setting that we have, an atmosphere out here for that. So that allows itself, I think, the initial kind of safety thing. And another big factor too is that we all love to entertain people here. And 2020's been one heck of a year. Yes. And people need an escape now more than ever. Mm-hmm. And if we could do this event safely, then we would. And we have implemented numerous safety procedures and plans in place to deal with the COVID pandemic. All our trails are actually being fogged and gassed each weekend by Force Shield. Okay. So that's very, very nice. And just a little extra bonus on top of, all your basic wearing a mask, 6 feet apart, social distancing for guests and for actors too.
Okay. That's good to know. I appreciate that. So I'm glad that you guys are able to open up this year. I know I look forward to coming out. I've got all kinds of friends that are all planning to come out, and can't wait to see what you guys have put together for us this season. I know you guys are you guys still looking for actors? I know you were a couple days ago.
Yeah. So we usually try to have 3 auditions throughout our preseason, just to give everybody an opportunity to come out that wants to come out. Okay. So we are having one final audition this Saturday at noon for anybody that wants to come out and be a part of our team. We're still looking for actors and staff positions as well.
Now, do they just do people just show up, or do they have to reach out to you through Facebook? How does that normally work?
You can just show up. If you want to know what the audition is, it's pretty much just a one-on-one interview and then a large group audition. Obviously, please wear your mask, and we'll be enforcing social distancing. But if you want to know more details, you can find that under our volunteering page on our website.
Okay, perfect. And that's SirHenry'sHauntedTrail.com.
Yep.
Awesome. So yeah, so if you guys are looking to scare this year, I know there's a few of you that normally kind of tune in. Just a heads up, Sir Henry's is still looking, so that might be something that may interest you. Head on out there this weekend. I'm excited. Now, I know you mentioned, there are some changes. Of course, there's some new safety measures in place with COVID. And you mentioned, that guests are required to wear masks as well as the actors, which, again, I appreciate. What other changes can guests expect? Maybe, from last year to this year, what are the major differences that people are going to probably notice when they come out?
Right. So probably the 2 biggest differences is one, we'll not be operating our escape game or laser tag. Okay. Just logistically, didn't think we'd be able to do it where we could keep everybody safe, even with cleaning everything as good as we could. It's not a foolproof thing. Right. And then 2, at this time, we're not doing a front of the line or a VIP ticket. Okay. Just because we're doing time ticketing this year. Okay. And we're kind of doing everything, spreading the crowds out, allowing for that social distancing. So that's going to be the biggest change too. But we do feel like we'll be able to kind of help out the wait times in the line. Hopefully, we'll see how it goes, and we'll make adjustments accordingly. But our capacity will also be limited for each night too. So.
And then you guys are also only doing online ticket purchases, correct? They can't get them at the door like they normally could?
So we definitely encourage you to purchase your tickets online. If you show up to the event and want to purchase a ticket on site, we can't guarantee that you'll be able to get in. Now, that's not saying that, hey, if you show up, you can't go on your phone and buy a ticket. in theory, you could still do that, but
Right.
not guaranteed because sometimes slots might be sold out because of the limited capacity.
Right, which makes sense. So it's the smarter move is to pre-buy your ticket, and I know your pricing varies depending on the night. And ticket pricing, just as a heads up for everybody watching, starts at $25 a person, and free parking, which is always my favorite thing. That's awesome. All right, so it sounds like you've got some different things happening this year for sure. Now, I know normally you guys will have like some food vendors and then some other vendors out there selling like your t-shirts and some other things. Are they going to be out there this year as well?
Yeah, so we'll have our we'll still be selling T-shirts, hoodies are this year too. That's a new thing we're offering. Pelican snowballs will be out here at our event this year again,
Hey.
and then they're delicious.
Yes, they are very good.
A lot of different flavors. They're awesome. And then we'll also be selling concessions at our Sir Henry Spooky Eats store. They'll be limited, not as many options as in previous years because of safety, and we're doing a lot of pretty much everything's going to be prepackaged.
Okay.
So
Which is
just
smart. It keeps it less hands.
exactly. And I'm pretty sure we'll probably be doing a mobile ordering feature for our concessions too.
Okay. Is that like on an app? Do you guys have an app?
So the way we're going to probably set it up, it'll be like the QR codes that a lot of restaurants are doing.
Mm-hmm.
You'll be able to scan your phone, and it'll take you directly to the order page for that.
Oh, okay. So I did not notice that. That was fantastic. Thank you. I love it. It makes life easier too that way, because then people can kind of put an order in and walk around. I know you guys have that. I don't know what to call it. If it's like a midway area, it's just that nice.
Yeah, we call it our common area.
There you
It's
go.
just basically it's a big midway area is the best way to describe it.
Yeah. Are you guys going to have roaming characters out there this year as well?
We will, and they'll all have masks on. They'll be socially distant. We have a new area this year. It's our I call it our selfie area. So you can take a picture with a photo of a scare actor, complete safe, no contact, no touching. So they'll be able to get the photo out.
Nice. And then are you guys doing any kind of special hashtag or anything like that? Or just make sure if you're doing the selfie thing, hashtag it Sir Henry's Haunted Trail?
Yeah, it's just Sir Henry's Haunted Trail. If you do Sir Henry hashtag, it turns up it's a lot of pets that pop up in that hashtag, which is kind of weird. So yeah, Sir Henry's Haunted Trail.
Perfect. I mean, if you had a dog as a mascot, I guess it wouldn't be as bad.
I don't like dogs. Right?
Exactly. All right, so that's good. The other question I wanted to ask you too is I know in the past you guys have had what I like to call a birthing bag, which is that giant bag that you have to squeeze through. I'm assuming, are you guys getting rid of stuff like that in the trails this year?
Yeah, so we're definitely not going to have that. That's a COVID nightmare. And we redesigned pretty much everything so you can, in theory, walk out of your car, walk through the trail, and come in contact and touch nothing.
Nice.
And that's just for the safety of the guests. Now, we're still going to, the quality of the event isn't, in my mind, hasn't lessened or deteriorated, anything like that. In fact, I think it's probably going to be one of our best years ever as far as, quality of entertainment.
Nice. Very exciting. I like the idea of that new selfie type area. People love to take pictures. So anytime you can give somebody a spot to do that, it definitely helps, you guys from the social media aspect, because everybody likes to post their pictures of where they're at and what they're doing. So I think that's always a smart move to do something like that.
For sure.
Now, I know you had the masks implemented. You have the distancing implemented. Are you guys, do you have any other safety procedures that's happening this year that folks might need to be aware of?
Yeah, so once you, before you can enter, we'll have an area set up where we'll be doing temperature checks for all guests coming in. You can find out more information on our website about the specifics of that.
Okay.
But they'll go through the basic temperature screening like you would at any of the theme parks that are open right now. And then we'll have hand sanitizer stations set up all around the event,
Okay.
entrance of all three trails, and the entrance to the event as well. And we're also having two separate entrance and exits this year to keep people even safer.
Oh, okay. I'm used to coming through the big archway that's got the giant Sir Henry sign.
You'll still be going through that in some capacity, but
Okay.
it'll just look a little different.
Okay, I gotcha. That makes sense. I appreciate that. Thank you so much. Let's see here. Now, you guys have the three trails this year, and I wanted to show, if it's okay with you, I pulled up one of your trailers, which, if you guys haven't seen the trailers for Sir Henry's Haunted Trail, hit their Facebook page, their YouTube. They're amazing. But if you don't mind, I'd like to showcase one of those before we get talking about the trails and what folks can expect.
Yeah, go for it.
All right, let's go. Check this out, guys. Can I just say, I love your trailers and I love all of the characters that you guys have. They're so much fun, and anybody, whether it's in the houses or in that midway area, they're so interactive with all the guests. I think it definitely sets you guys out a little bit further, than some of the other haunts that I've been to.
All right. Thank you. Yeah, we definitely seek to make a very memorable experience for our guests and to make everything very as personal as we can.
Yes. And I know predominantly, of course, you guys feature Sir Henry. And for guests that aren't familiar with him, could you kind of tell us just a little bit about Sir Henry so that people can feel a little more familiar?
Yeah, so Sir Henry's a pretty cool character. In the sense of horror, he's a little different. He's more of an anti-hero than a villain. He was a famous showman that is seeking revenge for the murder of his dead bride. And so that is his life or afterlife mission.
That's an undead man after my own heart, as it were.
Yep.
Now, can folks expect to see him out and about this year?
Sir Henry will be there every night.
Yay! He's always my favorite. I love running into Sir Henry.
Yep.
Awesome. Now, you guys have got the three trails this year, and I wanted to share that information here. So we have got the Candy Tree, we have Marionette of the Dead, and then we have Midnight Slaughter, which I'm very much looking forward to all of them. Again, if you guys haven't seen the trailers, check it out online. They're available on Sir Henry's Haunted Trail website as well as the YouTube channel. But could you tell us a little bit about the first trail, I believe, the Candy Tree? What's happening with that particular trail this year?
Yeah, so the theming story for that is kind of vintage 1920s trick-or-treaters set in this kind of rural village, which is a pretty cool setting and theme that I'm really excited about. And then we basically created a new monster, a new Halloween monster. And the best way I've been describing this to people is it's kind of like a Halloween night version of Krampus.
Ooh.
So this creature that is born of a legend about the candy tree, this tree that magically gives candy to any children who go near it. There's actually a very evil and very scary creature that comes out and eats children from this tree.
Lovely.
So, yeah, it's a very stylistic trail. That's going to be our main trail, like I was saying earlier. And I'm really excited to see that because we've actually transformed that trail this year quite a bit, even with all the COVID stuff going on.
Now, is that the one when you walk in through the entrance? Is that the one that's to that far left?
Yep.
The woodsy trail, as I call it.
Which is cool, too, because each one of our trails are very different in style. So guests aren't going to get a repeat experience on any trail. It's very unique, each one.
Nice. See, and I love that. I think that that's phenomenal. And I know your trails are, I mean, they're in the woods, it's outside. Would you consider it accessible at all to anyone that has any type of like wheelchair enabled folks?
Yeah, so it's really hard to say. Obviously, all of our sets are wheelchair accessible, and they're ADA compliant and all that good stuff. What makes it hard is the ground, because they're not paved. So in spots, you can go from grass to mulch to sand.
Right.
Just being an outdoor event, it's the nature of the beast. So we do find that the motorized wheelchairs tend to do better out here than the standard push ones.
Okay.
But obviously, if anybody shows up in a wheelchair, we have all of our staff will be more than happy to accommodate those guests as best we can.
That's fantastic. Thank you so much for that information. I know we have friends that like to go to haunts, and unfortunately, one of our friends is in a wheelchair, and he's always like, I want to do the things. So I always try to ask that question because I guess like your average Joe doesn't really think about it too much. So it's one of the things where I like to drag him wherever I can.
Yeah, we definitely want everybody to be able to experience it.
Oh, that's awesome. Thank you so much for that. And then you've got your second trail, your Marionette of the Dead. Now, is that one going to be your middle trail?
That's our middle trail. That's more of our traditional haunted house style trail.
Yes.
Theming with that is it kind of carries over from last year's story and theme where we had the funeral home.
Yes.
So this year the story is the funeral home got shut down, and this crazy schizophrenic character of a girl is coming in, was moving and squatting in the funeral home, basically using dead body parts to furnish a puppet show.
Oh.
When the dead body parts run out, she still needs puppets, so she goes to some extreme measures to get those parts.
Oh, okay. That sounds like there's going to be a lot of body parts in that house.
Yeah, it's very unique trail.
That sounds like a lot of... I love the facade of that trail, by the way. It's literally like that old school, like, spooky haunted house in the neighborhood when you were a kid that you would see, and you would dare the other kids to, like, go ring the doorbell or go touch the porch and run away.
Yeah. That is one of my favorite facades.
Oh, it's awesome. And if you guys, if you haven't seen it yet, head on out there, this coming haunt season and check it out. It's going to be amazing. And then your last one that you've got is Midnight Slaughter. So tell us a little bit about this one. This one is the third trail. So this is going to be when you walk in, this is going to be that trail that's off to the far right, correct?
Right.
Okay.
So Midnight Slaughter, that's an extension of the story we had last year with the Harvester and the Scarecrows. This year, it's going to be unique because this trail is actually going to be a lights out trail. This is going to be kind of more grunge, slaughterhouse type of feel to it. Okay. But it's an extension of that Scarecrow story. It's basically this family, the Browns. They've discovered a secret to growing crops that is human body parts for fertilizer. And now the rest of the village is kind of after them, so they've kind of holed up in a compound. Okay. And if you stumble upon their compound, it's probably not a good idea for you.
Now so I have to ask, are there going to be like glow sticks? Should people bring a flashlight? Like, how is that going to work with this particular trail?
Yeah, so normally, and we did a...
Oh. Zach?
Lights out trail for a Valentine. You there?
I am now. I lost you, but you're back. I apologize. I'm not sure what happened. So I'm going to ask you, I lost you when I said, do people have to bring their own glow sticks or flashlights, or how is that going to work?
So basically, we did a lights out event for one of our Valentine's Day trails, and we gave people flashlights for that. Okay. Obviously, with COVID, we don't want to do that. So we've set the house up to where it's basically like you would be taking a flashlight through the trail.
Oh, okay, that's pretty cool. I like that idea. Now, how about time-wise for people to go through each trail? What's your normal time from like start to finish once they actually get walking through? I know your first trail, the candy tree is going to be your longest because that particular one is always the bigger one, which I absolutely love because it immerses you so much more into it because you get to spend more time there.
It's each one's anywhere from I'd say 8 to 12 minutes, depending.
Okay.
So that's kind of usually it takes about 25 to 30 minutes to go through all three once you're in the houses or trails.
Nice. Now, are you guys, I know normally you do like small groups. Are you going to continue to do that? Or are you going to try to do it where it's in like, if there's, 4 people in a party, you're going to keep that 4 and so on and so forth?
Yeah, so we always do groups of 6 at a time. We'll still be pulsing people. I think that's one of the things that makes our event different than everything else out there.
Yes.
But we're going to try and keep it just to the group you came with this year. So that is our plan.
Nice. That's awesome. I appreciate that. It's always fun when you have your own group because you kind of know how they're going to react versus the random people that may try to shove you through it when you're trying to actually enjoy it because they get a little too scared. So that I'm definitely a big fan of that. So I do also have to ask, are guests able to go through the trails multiple times with their ticket purchase, or do they have to go back and buy another ticket to revisit the trails?
So with their ticket purchase, it gets them in one time.
Okay.
We are usually in the past we've done like a VIP or a front of the line option, and that gives them unlimited times. But because of COVID this year and everything we're having to do for social distancing, we're not doing that.
Okay.
I can say we are working on some ideas to while you're at the event, if you want to purchase to go through like an additional house one time, we are looking at something like that. So it might be an at the event purchase.
Oh, okay. See, that would be a good option.
Yeah, and if it is that, it'll probably be all contactless mobile purchase.
Oh, perfect. Kind of like the food ordering setup, something similar. Okay. Now, for your trails, what age limit would you say they're I don't want to say safe, but like what age limit would you recommend if somebody's like, I want to bring my 5-year-old?
Yeah, I get a lot of phone calls about this. We recommend 12, 13 and up. Okay. We do have some 5-year-olds that come through and love it. Yeah. That's going to worry about them. But no, we do recommend 12 and 13-year-olds and up. It's more geared towards young teens and adults. Not so much kid-friendly. There's some imagery and scenes that aren't appropriate for young kids. So
there's a couple that are a little rough for the youngins. I can understand and appreciate that. So 12 and up, I think, is a good age for sure. And your trails are, since they're mostly outside, would you suggest folks come in like closed-toed shoes or pants, or what would you say would be good as far as outerwear goes? I have it
listed on the website too. Definitely recommend closed-toed shoes. Don't come out there in heels or sandals or anything. You're just asking for trouble. Yeah. Pants are always great. We're outdoors. It's Florida. It's still kind of hot in October, I know, but mosquitoes. Mm-hmm. We do spray for bugs and everything, so it kind of helps out. But still, in the past, we've always offered bug spray at our ticket window, but because of COVID, we're not able to do that this year. Yeah.
So all right. Bug spray, just you don't need to, but it's a good idea if you bring some on your own, just in case, because it's outside and it's Florida. Yep. I know I get eaten up when I go out in my backyard some nights, and I'm like, really? Yeah. So it happens.
It can be miserable.
Nah, it happens, but that's okay. Now, are you guys a rain or shine event? If it's raining, do you guys just kind of like put the kibosh on it? I know it's kind of hard because you guys are predominantly outdoors.
Yeah. So we are a light rain or a shine event. Anything that gets usually or I know there was a few nights last year where we had to close early because of rain.
Right.
And I just don't listen, obviously I don't want to guess. Some guests like, experiencing the haunt and the rain and a monsoon. And, that's up to them. But I don't like leaving the actors out in the soaking rain and a mask and costumes. That's just miserable for them.
Yeah.
So.
No, I appreciate that.
Light
rain is good. Monsooning, not so much.
Yeah.
That's kind of what it is. Now, if it does get rained out, do you guys have any type of return option?
Yeah, so in the past, and we're probably still continuing to do this, we honor those tickets for any other night they want to come.
Okay.
That's usually our policy.
Awesome. And I've got your location up here. I know I see some people asking in the chat where you guys are located. You guys are located in the lovely city of Plant City, Florida, and you guys are right off of I-4, aren't you?
Literally off of I-4. It's exit 22, and it's literally half a mile off the exit.
Yeah, I think last year I missed it, and because I clearly didn't see the giant sign that you have right there where the haunt is, and I flew by the exit, so I had to turn around and come up some weird back way, and I was like, all right, I'm not doing this again. But yeah, you guys are definitely easy to spot. There's some big giant signage, very easy to see. So if you're coming down off of I-4, just look for that Sir Henry's Haunted Trail sign.
Yep.
And then you guys are operating this year is October 2nd is your opening night?
It's our opening night. We'll be open 13 select nights all the way through Halloween.
Nice. And you guys are open Sundays too. I didn't realize that.
Yeah, we're open 3 Sundays, 7:30 to 9:30, so smaller time window to get in there and get scared, but still be open.
Okay. That's awesome. And then are you guys also, I meant to ask this, so I apologize for kind of backtracking a little bit. With the ticket sales, are you guys selling tickets the day of for that day, or are you guys kind of like doing a cutoff time?
Yeah, so I'm pretty positive you can purchase tickets up until like 10 minutes before the time slot.
Okay.
Or even right up to the time slot, as a matter of fact. So if you want to come at 8:30 on a Saturday, I'm pretty sure up until like 8:20 p.m. you can still purchase tickets as long as they're tickets to be purchased.
Right, and if it's sold out, then you have to come the next night.
Yeah, try another day.
It kind of happens, you gotta kind of jump on it, especially with this year and everything being a little bit different, especially with COVID and, ticket sales being online. So if you're planning to head out to Sir Henry's Haunted Trail, make sure that you go online, secure your tickets, secure your dates so that you've got them, so that you can go out and experience, all 3 of these trails. They're so much fun. We always have a great time when we come out to see you guys. I do have to ask, and I'm curious to see if anybody in the chat has any questions for you. I did get the wheelchair accessible question, which we did answer. It's an outdoor trail, just for those of you tuning in. So it's ADA compliant, but it's in the dirt. So if you've got a push chair, it's a little rough, but you were saying that the electric chairs seem to work pretty good through them?
Yeah, the electric motorized chairs really have no problem that I've seen in our trails. So
okay, that's awesome. So for those of you just tuning in, they are accessible, which makes my heart happy. And I know you guys are running a giveaway right now on your Facebook page, aren't you?
Yeah. So if you go to our Facebook page, I think it was last night's post, we're doing a ticket giveaway, 4 free tickets, opportunity to win that. Just got to like, share, and comment some friends who you want to bring.
Nice. And that's on Sir Henry's Haunted Trail's Facebook page. I did share it to Horror Happenings yesterday, and I'll keep sharing that again. Just as an FYI, you guys, if you are going to enter that ticket giveaway, make sure that you go back to Sir Henry's Haunted Trail's original post and do all of the things from their page so that you are qualified to enter to win those 4 free tickets. Because if you share from my page, I love you guys and thank you, but it's not going to count towards that entry. So make sure that you head over to their Facebook page directly. And then you guys are announcing the winner for that on the 18th, correct?
Yeah, so this Friday. So you've got till Friday afternoon basically to enter.
Okay. Now, are those the ticket giveaways? Are they for a particular day, or is that just whatever day the person wants to come? They would just have to hit you up and say, "Hey, we're gonna come. We want to come on this day and this time."
Yeah, so it's for any day that they can come. I reach out once they announce the winner. I have them contact us, and it's whatever day they want to come.
Okay, that's fantastic. So yeah, so make
We
sure.
usually try to do one once a week. So
I noticed that, and I think that that's definitely a great idea. It gives people a chance. People love a contest, and they love to try to win things. So I think that that's definitely it's a smart move, sir. So if you guys are not following Sir Henry's Haunted Trail, make sure that you are following them on Facebook and on Instagram, because you guys post quite frequently and you guys update quite frequently as well. And then for those contests, you want to make sure that you're following those pages so that you can, enter to win the next one or the current one. That's fantastic. And now, is there anything that you wanted to let the folks know that are maybe tuning in or watching that maybe we haven't spoken about yet?
I think we pretty much covered everything from the COVID stuff to the new themes this year.
Nice. We've got some folks chiming in the chat room that they're following you guys now. So
Awesome.
thank you guys for jumping on that. Now, I do have two more questions for you this evening, if you don't mind. And I like to ask this of all my guests because, number one, I love the answer to this question, but it opens up for debate sometimes, which makes things fun. So I do have to ask, what's your favorite haunt that you visited?
Definitely would have to say Haunted Overload in New Hampshire. I love Northeastern Halloween stuff. That is like my guilty pleasure.
Yes.
And I've tried to kind of emulate our event after that. So, their artistry of the stuff they do, their sets are literally larger than life.
Nice.
And it's kind of similar to what we do, being an outdoor outdoor event. So I kind of relate to that too. But that's definitely holds a very special place in my heart.
They're definitely, they feel more fall, if that makes sense, than we do down here, because Florida, it's 90 degrees in December. So
we don't have seasons.
No, we have hot, and that's pretty much it. So I would agree with you there, whereas then there's something almost magical about visiting an out-of-state haunt where there is that actual fall season where the leaves are changing and it's a little cooler. So that kind of helps to set the tone even more than just, 90-degree sweating. Give me my fan and my ice pack weather.
Yeah, I'll take a seasonal fall day any day over this we have to deal with. But
yeah, I agree. So I'll have to write that down and check that. I've not visited that one yet. And I know the husband and I were talking about traveling a little bit, and then COVID happened. So next year, we're hoping to be able to hit some of the out-of-state haunts to actually get to experience, them some more, especially in this time of the year. So I'll have to mark that down on my list to check them out. Are they still operating, I'm assuming?
yeah, they are operating this season, and like the haunts that are operating, I've seen where they put out their COVID guidelines and all that stuff. So
perfect, fantastic. So yeah, definitely we'll check them out. And then the last question that I have to ask is, what's your favorite scary movie?
I would say the original Halloween. Michael Myers, probably my favorite horror villain. There's just something so nostalgic about that movie, and to me, it's like the epitome of Halloween and horror combined into one movie, and I just love that.
I think so too. It's almost timeless.
Yeah.
Like, you can tell the decade of when it was shot because, your bell bottoms and then the feathered hair and everything. But it's such a good story that it really does hold up throughout the years. And it's something that I watch at least 2 to 3 times a year, whether it's, Halloween season or not, because it's definitely one of my favorite, slasher films is the original Halloween movie. So I appreciate that, other folks find that appreciation in that film as well.
For sure. Yeah, it's a classic. Definitely have to watch that every Halloween.
Yeah. And the soundtrack to that's just
second to none.
It's perfect. I don't want to really use that term, but I'm going to use it. And depending on the scene and where it at, just the special chords, that high pitch that hits at certain times, it's perfect.
Yeah, it is perfect. I would agree with that.
Well, thank you so much for taking some time out of your Wednesday evening and for hanging out with us and sharing with us some information about, Sir Henry's Haunted Trail. We're looking forward to it. If you guys are interested or want more information or some more details on their COVID guidelines, make sure that you visit the website, sirhenryshauntedtrail.com. And yeah, man, just thank you for coming on.
Well, thank you for having me, Erica. Appreciate it.
Oh, dude, anytime. And I'll see you in a couple weeks.
Yep, you will.
All right, guys. Everybody in the chat room and watching at home, thank you guys so much for tuning in. If you're watching the replay on YouTube, thank you guys for checking us out, and make sure that you guys check out Sir Henry's Haunted Trail, this October. It's going to be awesome. Until next time, boys and girls, make sure that you keep it spooky.